Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something pretty fun. How to sound really sharp, even when you're maybe winging it a bit.
Right. It's that art of seeming prepared, even if you're drawing a blank.
Exactly. Like, have you ever wondered why just saying, let's table this, suddenly makes you sound super strategic?
Or how saying it's nuanced can kind of magically cover up that you don't fully get it yet.
Totally. And, oh, the classic, per my last email, when, let's be real, there was no last email.
Yeah, that one's bold. But it's fascinating, isn't it? It's like there's this unspoken agreement around these phrases.
There really is. So today, that's our mission. We're going to unpack how to, well, fake brilliance like a pro.
Okay.
By the end of this, you'll get the three main types of this smart-sounding fluff.
Edit.
You'll learn some key phrases that just sound like expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll figure out why saying something like, let's pressure test this, is often just a smart way to stall.
Sounds good. So breaking down these linguistic illusions, where do we start?
Well, let's start with the types. Our sources suggest there are basically three main kinds of these fake smart phrases.
Okay, three categories. What's the first one?
First is the one we probably all know, corporate jargon.
Ah, yes. The classics.
Right. It sounds super important, but when you actually translate it,
Yeah.
often not much there.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, like, we need to leverage our core competencies.
Translation, let's do the main things we're good at. Or just do our jobs.
Exactly. Or let's synergize our verticals.
Which just means people in different teams should talk.
Pretty much. It's like this secret handshake, makes things sound grander.
It does. And using it signals you're part of the in-group, familiar with that corporate culture.
Yeah, but it can also exclude people, right? If you don't know the jargon.
Absolutely. It can create barriers and sort of reinforce who's in the know and who isn't.
Okay, so that's jargon. What's number two?
Number two is academic fluff. This is where big words seem to equal big brains.
Using fancy vocabulary to sound smarter than you might be feeling.
Precisely. Think about this paradigm needs disrupting.
Which really just means this way of doing things is bad, or this needs to change.
Exactly. Or the classic brainstorm starter, let's ideate on solutions.
Just let's think of ideas.
Right. But ideate sounds much more rigorous.
It does. It taps into that idea that complex words mean deep thoughts.
It gives the speaker kind of perceived authority, even if the idea itself is simple.
We actually had a listener at Jargon Fraud share a great story about this.
Well, yeah.
They used paradigm shift in a meeting, total bluff,
Yeah.
and the boss just nodded seriously. Like, yes, paradigm shift? Nobody, including the listener, really knew what it meant in context.
That's perfect. It shows how the appearance of understanding can sometimes matter more than the real thing.
Nobody wants to look like they're the one who doesn't get it.
Precisely. So the jargon user often goes unchallenged.
Okay, so corporate jargon, academic fluff. What's the third type?
The third is strategic vagueness. This is maybe the most subtle. It's about sounding meaningful and strategic while actually being incredibly non-committal. It helps you sidestep accountability.
Gotcha. Like, the optics aren't optimal.
Exactly. Translation. This looks really bad, maybe stupid,
Or the ultimate escape hatch. We should table this.
which often means, let's
Yeah.
never talk about this again, please.
Uh-huh. Right. So you sound considered, thoughtful, but you're actually just avoiding a decision.
It's very effective for deflecting or postponing tricky conversations. Ambiguity is your friend.
Okay, so those are the three flavors. Jargon, fluff, and vagueness. Now, how do you actually use this stuff? How do you sound like you know things when, maybe you don't?
Right, let's get tactical. There are a few key moves you can pull.
Lamos.
First, there's the baffle them with BS approach.
Love it already.
Use phrases that sound technical or specific but are vague enough nobody dares question them, like per the aforementioned deliverables.
Ooh, good one. Nobody's going to ask, which deliverables exactly?
Probably not. It sounds like you're totally on top of everything. You
Yeah.
assume they miss something if they don't know.
Clever. What else?
The simple but brilliant ask their opinion trick.
Ah, the deflection.
Exactly. Feeling lost. Just turn to someone and ask, what's your take on next steps?
Translation. You figure it out for me.
Basically.
Oh.
But it makes you look collaborative, like you value their input. And it buys you time.
Sneaky. I like it. And I bet we've all used the next one.
Probably. The blame process escape.
Yes. Things going slow. Problems, just say.
We're optimizing our workflow.
Magic words. Translation. I am potentially ignoring the real issue, but this sounds proactive.
It works because optimizing sounds like this constant, ongoing thing. It's hard to pin down. Very useful shield.
Okay, and you mentioned a pro tip earlier.
Yes. Consider deploying. Let's socialize this.
What does that really mean?
Often it means, you go tell everyone else about this idea plan for me.
Huh. So it sounds collaborative, like let's share this widely, but it's actually delegation.
Often, yes. Socialize has those positive vibes of teamwork, masking the you-do-it part.
These are deviously useful. Okay, but does this stuff work the same everywhere, like culturally?
Good question. No, there are definitely some interesting cultural differences in how this fake expertise manifests.
Really? Like what?
Well, the specific phrases change.
Yeah.
In American business, if someone says they lack bandwidth,
Yeah, that means I'm too busy. Pretty clear.
right. But in the UK, if someone suggests, let's take this offline,
Okay. What's the hidden meaning there?
it's often a very polite way to say, stop talking about this now, or I don't want to discuss this in front of everyone. Maybe even, let's not discuss this, period.
Ah, more subtle. What about elsewhere?
Well, down in Australia,
Yeah.
you hear there's hard yakka ahead.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, slang for hard work. It means, basically, this is going to be really tough. We might be doomed, but let's get to work.
Wow. So the same idea of managing expectations or workload gets expressed very differently.
Exactly. Language is so tied to context.
We actually got a great related tip, a listener hack from @CopyPasteGenius.
Oh, yeah. What's the hack?
They admitted they just copy and paste impressive-sounding phrases from other emails they receive.
Seriously. And use them themselves.
Yep. And they said, basically, nobody ever notices or calls them out on it.
That's hilarious. It's just that sometimes it's more about using the right kind of language than the precise meaning, just fitting in linguistically.
It really does seem that way sometimes. Okay, so with all this knowledge, it's time for our listener challenge. You ready to become a BS detective?
Let's do it. What's the mission this week?
Okay, 3 parts. First, just spot one of these meaningless phrases in the wild this week. Our example is low-hanging fruit.
Which just means
Yeah.
the easy stuff.
Right. Find your own example. Second mission, try the socialize this trick.
Okay.
Next time you need to share something, casually suggest, hey, let's socialize the Q3 roadmap. See if someone else picks up the burden of explaining it.
A little experiment in delegation. I like it.
And finally, for the brave, deploy paradigm shift.
Go big or go home.
Exactly. Use it in a meeting, any meeting, and just watch. See if you get those knowing nods, just like @Jargon Fraud did.
Even if you're not entirely sure what paradigm is shifting.
Especially then, we actually heard from someone who did something similar. They declared, we need disruptive innovation.
Okay. Bold move.
And the team applauded, clapped.
Wow.
Then they immediately had to Google disruptive innovation, tagged it, #JargonWin.
That's brilliant. It really shows the performative power of these words sometimes.
Absolutely. The goal here isn't just to be sneaky, it's to notice these dynamics, see how language works in these settings.
Right. So you're now armed. You have this arsenal of fake expertise.
Use it wisely. Or, just confidently. That seems to be half the battle.
And of course, while these tricks can be useful occasionally, let's not forget that actual clear communication and real understanding are still pretty valuable.
Very true. Good disclaimer. Though sometimes you just need to survive the meeting, right?
Sometimes, yes.
Speaking of navigating tricky spots, join us next time. We're diving into how to politely avoid commitments.
The fine art of saying no without saying no.
Exactly, because let's be honest, let me check my calendar. Rarely means yes, I'd love to.
Looking forward to unpacking those subtle evasions.
Until our next deep dive.